Strategy is as much about knowing when not to fight as it is about knowing how to strike. Welcome to this lesson on the seventh deception. Sun Tzu is often celebrated for his aggressive deceptions, but here he offers a sobering reality check. If the enemy is efficient, well disciplined, and has no gaps in their defense, do not force a move. When the enemy is a wall, do not break your fist against it. Sun Tzu warns that sometimes, despite your best efforts to create disorder or offer bait, the enemy remains unshakable. They have done their homework. Their scouts are active, their flanks are covered, and their morale is high. In this scenario, any attack is a gift to the enemy. Instead of pursuing a lost cause, a true commander must pivot. Stop planning the attack and start preparing the defense. The war in Ukraine provides a stark, modern example of what happens when this lesson is ignored and what happens when it is followed. During the summer of 2023, the Russian military had spent months constructing the Surovikin Line, a massive system of minefields, dragon teeth tank traps, and layers of trench backed with heavy artillery. At that moment, the Russian defense was in a phase of strength. There were no easy gaps to exploit. When Ukrainian forces attempted a large-scale mechanized breakthrough, they ran into a wall that was efficient and well-disciplined in its defense routine. The result was a stalemate with heavy equipment losses. Sun Tzu would have looked at these fortifications and said, "Do not move against this. Prepare for the assault they may make instead." By late 2024 and 2025, we saw the reverse. When Russia launched massive midwave assaults against heavy fortified Ukrainian cities like Avdiivka or Vuhledar, they were attacking an enemy prepared for attack. Because Russia attacked when the defender was in a phase of strength, they suffered catastrophic losses in manpower and armor. Sun Tzu's war tip is a fundamental law of military physics. Do not attack when the enemy is in its phase of strength. Strength is like a tide, it ebbs and flows. If the enemy is ready, you wait. If the enemy is disciplined, you observe. If the enemy is solid, you dig in. By preparing your own defense, you ensure that you are still standing when the enemy's phase of strength inevitably passes. The seventh deception isn't about being scared, it's about being rational. A commander who attacks a prepared enemy out of pride or pressure from superiors is a general of ruin. A commander who can honestly say, "They are too strong today, we will defend instead," is the one who survives to win tomorrow. Patience is a tactical move. If the door is locked and barred, do not kick it down. Wait for the person inside to step out. We've just covered the seventh deception, preparing to defend when the enemy is ready for attack. It is perhaps the most difficult lesson for a leader to stomach, because it requires the death of ego. In a world that demands constant progress, Sun Tzu reminds us that holding your ground is a victory in itself. To wrap up, let's look at how the phase of strength is being respected or ignored in the 2026 battlefields. The core of this lesson is the recognition of an immovable object. In 2026, the front lines in eastern Ukraine have become symmetry traps. When both sides have deep minefields, thermal surveillance, and instant artillery response, they are both in a phase of strength. We've seen that the commanders who tried to force a breakthrough in these sectors ended up with burning tank columns and nothing to show for it. The commanders who succeeded were the ones who said, "The enemy is prepared. We will pivot to an active defense." We see this in Ukraine's 2025 through 2026 defense doctrine. Instead of trying to retake every inch of land through costly offensives against prepared Russian lines, they have focused on becoming unattackable. By building deep, interlocking drone fortified zones, they force the Russian military to be the ones who ignore Sun Tzu's advice. When Russia attacks these phases of strength, they break themselves against the shield. Sun Tzu's war tip is a warning against hope-based planning. You cannot hope the enemy is disorganized. You must see it. If they are efficient and disciplined, your attack will fail. In the modern war, this means, first, trust the intel. If the drones show an enemy is dug in and ready, believe them. Second, respecting the defense. Defense naturally has 3-to-1 advantage. Attacking a prepared enemy without a massive edge is a mathematical error. 3. Wait for the ebb. Strength is temporary. Fatigue, supply issues, or political instability will eventually create a gap. Your job is to be ready when it happens. As you look at your own front lines, remember, not every day is for the sword. Some days are for the shield. If your opponent is at their peak, well-funded, well-rested, and well-prepared, do not give them the satisfaction of a fight they are ready to win.